How's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I am here with a tier list for the Fate Granddaughter Sub-Singularities. Now, granted, this is not an actual tier list, this is more like me improvising on Minecraft to make a list from this color, orange, being the worst, to white being the best. And I had to kind of like cut through some colors. I didn't have or red in my hotbar. Oh, never mind, I do. Let me change that then. But the red is the worst. You have yellow being middle, good, or red, green, green. Wow, I am dyslexic. Oh my goodness. Green being good, and then white being pinnacle of greatness, which is why white is also here. So this was for my singularities, like uh, Fuyuki all the way to Solomon. So if you want to see that, I'll put it in the description, or it should be on the channel if it's not there. But yeah, now I'm gonna be doing the sub singularities. So Shinjuku, Agartha, Shimosa, and Salem. I'm gonna be listing all these from worst to best, in my opinion. And you know, all I can do is just get started. So before that, countering myself for some reason. I it's gonna be a short video, obviously, because there's significantly less sub singularities compared to the singularities here. Like, I think it's definitely doubled over here. So it's definitely gonna be a shorter video. But number one is gonna get it out the way. There's actually a video for it on my channel, and my opinion on it has changed a lot. Agartha is at the very bottom, and in the beginning when I posted the Agartha video, I don't know what I said on it. I think I just recapped the story and didn't really give an opinion on it. I'll probably give it like a 7 or something. Well, if I can take the time to change that score now, I would say it's a honestly like a 4. Agartha is not great. It's uh it's pretty mediocre to honestly kind of bad. I I was thinking back on it and I was laughing at it because it was kind of bad, but thinking on it seriously for a minute, it's not that great. Agartha has potential for greatness, and that is evident with the characters in it and the story that it had with it being an underground terrain, a subterranean land with different factions, with the Amazons and Penthesilea, with Francis Drake, or actually not Francis Drake, and their place. And then you have the Wuxian, uh, being in her place, and you have Christopher Columbus and his own faction. And you have all these factions going up against each other, and that was such a cool concept, but then it just didn't really pan out much. Okay, you have Heracles, Francis Drake, Fergus, Astolfo, Helena, Scheherazade, Wuzitian, Penthesilea, and Christopher Columbus. Not a lot of characters, honestly. Not a lot of characters. But yeah, like these characters, there was a lot of potential, but I just didn't like a lot of them. You know, uh, I like Astolfo. A lot of people don't like Astolfo, but I actually do like his character. I think he's pretty funny. So he was a highlight for me, honestly. You also have who was it? Who else is here? Fergus. He was great. I thought he was pretty good. And the last character, honestly, the last character I liked was Helena, and she didn't show up much. Every other character I didn't like much at all. Scheherazade I tolerated. I would honestly, I feel like I would like her more outside of the singularity. Heracles was murdered in cold blood with this story. He was done dirty, horrendous. I did not like the way Heracles showed up. Megalos, corny. I hated it. Chevalier was alright. I didn't really have any problems with her. Francis Drake was also murdered. Put her in her Heracles tier. You have Wu Zetian, she's alright. Penthesilea, she's alright. And Christopher Columbus, he's alright. I only really like 3 characters in this. And I can't like it. Like, I just can't like Agartha that much anymore. I'll always laugh. Like, it's definitely a thing of it's so bad it's good type thing. Because I'm just laughing remembering that one line, La puta, aka the whore, excuse me. Excuse my language. But literally, like, the fact that that was a line in it was just so funny to me. I loved it. But Agartha, the characters were mid. The story was it was pretty baba, honestly. It was pretty cocky. I didn't like it too much. Every place we went, I just thought it was pretty mediocre. And the ending, honestly, the ending was made pretty good because of Fergus. That's why he's honestly one of the best characters in Agartha, if not the best. Excuse my voice crack. But Agartha, overall, 3 out of 10. Not great. That's why it's at the bottom. But the next one, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. It's an S, but it's an A as well. And it ends with Salem. Salem, I talked about it in the last video. Salem isn't great. To me, the biggest problems with it with the fact that it was just so weirdly organized in the game. Like some sections were really long, super long, and hard to get through in like one sitting, while other times it was just super short. And next thing you know, it's over. It felt really rushed. Like the ending of it, I didn't really like too much, but I also did like it, and that's what bothers me. It had like Agartha, it has untapped potential. I didn't mention that with Agartha, but Agartha had untapped potential that it could have been like fully realized, and it would have been good. Salem is the same way. Salem has great middle, has an interesting story, has an interesting setup, and just fails to execute at the end. Because at the end it just feels so rushed. I didn't feel like Salem left a conclusive taste in my mouth. Pause. I didn't feel like I left Salem with a full story. There was still some things missing, and I'm not even one to nitpick with endings. I don't usually do that because that just ruins it for me. But here it's hard to not notice it. Salem just doesn't feel complete, in my opinion. But things that I do have to give Salem, like I said, the story in the middle was pretty good. Like it has an interesting premise because I live in the United States, so I know about the Salem witch trials. Matter of fact, I live in Massachusetts, so it kind of I can relate to it in a little bit. But oh well, not but you also have just like the story just being interesting. You have the characters being interesting, way better than Agartha's characters. But the whole thing is just brought down by how weird it is, how weird it's paced. Oh, excuse me. And the ending of it. So Salem, 5 out of 10 still. It's in the middle of a road. Then, honestly, yeah, I have the least to say about Salem. But I'm gonna have even less to say about Shinjuku because it's been well over a year since I played Shinjuku. So Shinjuku is the first pseudo singularity, and honestly, I could not tell you much about it except that I remember liking the story. I remember liking the story a little bit because there was some twists in it, and I liked the characters. Oh my gosh, it's messing up everywhere. Like, let me pull up the list of characters. Uh, no, 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 no. So Shinjuku, from what I remember, the oh my goodness, excuse my stutter. Holy, I am ape brain right now. I am a simian. But yeah, so Shinjuku, it was the introduction to the pseudo singularities after Solomon, and it starts off pretty strong. I won't lie. It's not the greatest story. It's kind of like well, what's that? Orleans, kind of like Orleans and Fuyuki, where it's not amazing, but it's okay. It's good. Like Shinjuku has some really flat characters, but some amazing characters as well. And the story was good, you know, being with the bad guys and just trying to do good, and then fighting the actual bad guys, but then also finding out the true mastermind. That in that twist was pretty cool. The setting of the city was pretty cool. This is literally a Shinjuku. Like last time we've been in a Japanese spot was Fuyuki, so it was pretty cool. But being in like a modern setting like that, like in 2001 or 1999, excuse me, I thought that was super cool. It was super cool setting since it was at night always too. It was dope. And the characters themselves, let's go over them real quick. So you have Artoria Pendragon Altar, you have Hans Christian Andersen, William Shakespeare, Hassan of the Cursed Arm, Phantom of the Opera, Edmond Dantes, Jeanne d'Arc, James Moriarty, Emilia Alter, or Hessian Lobo, Yan Qing, or King, Queen, King. I apologize, I'm not good with Mandarin, or I guess that's the language more than it is the written. Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying this broadly. I'm not good with Chinese. There you go. Chinese names. And last but not least, Sherlock Holmes. And these cast of characters is pretty good. Like Sherlock was great. Moriarty was great. John d'Arc Alter was great. Edmond Dantes was great. Uh, and Artoria was great, and her pet dog as well. But everybody else was pretty okay, and they were either okay or just bad. Like, where is he? Phantom of the Opera, trash. Emiels are okay. The Yang Ching, I'm gonna just say Yang Ching. He was garbage. He was also trash. Like most of the bad guys were pretty bad, except for Emilia Alter and the mastermind. But the main cast of characters themselves were pretty good. I won't lie, they were pretty good. And the story, it held up well on its own. It didn't feel rushed like Salem, but it also didn't have like untapped potential. It felt like it did most of what it needed to do in Shinjuku, and that's why honestly like I can give it, since I didn't do a review for it. Since at the time when I finished it, I wasn't doing this stuff on YouTube. So if I had to give it a review for it, it's good. It's not great, but it's good. It's better than a 5 out of 10. So I'll give it like a 6 at its worst, a 7 at its best. Or actually, a 4 at its worst, a 7 at its best. I'd say it's a 6. 6 to 7, around there. Shinjuku was good. Not great, like I said, but it was good. And last but not least, we have the final, not surprising, but the final sub-singularity. And I didn't notice how many singularities in this like saga had an S in their name. Like like this one doesn't have one of course, but they have Salem, Shinjuku, Shimosa. Like one of these usually has an A in it, or at least a U or an I. Like this is crazy. But yeah, Shimosa, no surprise, is the best sub-singularity. I sang its praise, or wow, excuse me. I sang its praise a lot in the first video, so I'm just gonna try and make it quick. The characters in Shimosa are great. The story in Shimosa is simple but great. It doesn't overstay its welcome, which is amazing. And overall, it just carries itself very well. Shimosa, if even if I didn't watch Vagabond or read Vagabond, or if I didn't know Musashi much at all, I I still would have enjoyed this just as much because Shimosa is just that good compared to the rest of these, let alone compared to some singularities. Period. If I had to rank Shimosa in the singularities to the left of this, honestly, I would put it like in between America and Camelot. I think it's on par with America, but not better than Camelot. Like Shimosa was just great. It was good. You have the colorful cast of characters like Musashi, Ishin, Muramasa, Onui, and Tasuke, which aren't servants. You have Kadodanzo, you have Fuma, Kotaro, you have Tamamo Cat, or Tamamo Mei, no Mei. You have the Seven Sword Saints with Munenori, again Ishin. You have Kojiro, you have Shutendoji, the Raiko, there you go, that's her name. You have Ashia Domin, you have Amakusa Shiro, and you have the one girl, Shiome, I think, and Tomoe. You have all those characters. You have Kiyohime, there you go, that was the last person. And yeah, like, the fact that I can remember the characters from Shimosa is a testament to how good it is. Like, it stuck with me in my mind. Not because, like, it's anything different, it's anything crazy. It is different with the way that it approaches the story, because in reality, or most part, you're just with Musashi and Kotaro for the most of the time there. So it's pretty empty because you don't have Mash there as well, or Chaldea, but it's cool for the most part. Like Shimosa is a good sub-singularity and is it's the peak of the sub-singularities. It sets a precedent, excuse me, for the other ones. Like this is the bar. This is the bar for sub-singularities. Just like how Solomon, from in my opinion, is the bar for the normal singularities. And again, like I said, this is my opinion. So yours can very well differ. I'm not gonna judge you for it. Just hopefully you don't judge me for mine. But yeah, that's it for the pseudo singularity tier list. Next tier list is gonna be the lost belts, but it's really more or less gonna come when all of the lost belts are out, since in America, like the U.S. or NA, I guess, is still in Atlantis, while I think in Japan it's like six Lost Belt 6 Part 2 or something. I don't remember, but yeah, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a long time before I do the tier list, and by then hopefully I can actually do a tier list on a computer. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for now. I hope you all enjoyed this well, not objective, excuse me, subjective tier list on the fake grand order sub singularities or pseudo singularities, whichever you prefer. Thank you all for watching as always. Hopefully you can tell me your opinions if you do play fake grand order on what you think like your best, or you would place these singularities, sub singularities, whichever. And yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments. Again, thank you all for watching. Next video, I don't know what it's gonna be, but hopefully you're all here to watch it. As always, this has been Infamous Isaac, and I'll check y'all out. Peace.